Okay, I created this hybrid chart, this kind of a combination of the close and a bar chart. So I have a close overlaid on top of a bar chart, and I really fattened up the bars, and it just was easier to explain if I could see the range of the day and also the close. I was just playing around with the price projection off of highs here as opposed to off of the close. Now on the close, I could come on top of this. I guess I wish I had a different tool here I could set up with a different configuration. But now if I do it off of the close, it's going to look like this. And I'm going to hang it off the lowest close, which is going to be here. So if you're using that that technique, that's how different it would project, different it would look. And I guess if you wanted to hang that, this is referenced off of the high and hanging off that. So, but if you were to stick to the strict rules of the system, you're going to find the lowest close between these two highs. So you draw on this one. So like on the uptrend, you would have drawn, say, this, and then you would project the highest within these two lines. What's the highest close? Right there. So right on the close. Now, these two spikes up in here, had you projected more like this, would be off the lows. And then I guess you could intermediately place these, saying, well, look at this spike here. And yeah, it definitely hits that target nicely. Certainly a little more sooner. And then you could have these kind of, cluster exits here. But this still is the highest close, even though these do give you a nice, because if actually the rhythm of it, which is the blue line, you see how this, if you go here, okay, establish that. Now look at these tops become bottoms. Anytime a top becomes a bottom, that's a pivot, so you're going to reference that as being a big deal. This, there's one right here. So that choppiness, and then this kind of a failed top bottom, but it definitely topped bottomed off of this. So right in here, you got this beautiful support zone. This is a key zone. Now, hanging this off of the top bottom, same effect, and gives you a nice, if you hang it off of this peak, this is the highest one, but if you come back to here, gives you a nice cycle rhythm where you're really nearly at the peak there. You see that? Like if you come here and you cue it, you're timing it down to the this is a weekly chart, so you're timing it within that week. Now if I drag this to the cue point, so I'm cueing off of, say, this high, so you're going to drag this to the is a timing method, so you're off by a week, kind of. I guess if you scooch this one back to the original establishment of that pivot, then you're like here and you're dead on. Okay, but this is a in the acceleration of this, and you would have these guys. You could take this bottom without breaking a rule, hang it off at the highest close, and that becomes a pivot point in time on the close, and then it zooms up, and on this last zoom up, your price projection. The only place you can get in this thing on the let me zoom into this thing. Right here, if you run this, it gets so steep here, but the only pullback where you could get on at the close of the day is down into so right there. As far as the bar is also giving me the time stamp, as far as if you're going to count how many days in advance you could expect the top to be coming here. And it's very, at this point, it's very steep, and the highest close is actually only 1 day apart. And that's a very powerful price pulse because it only took one breath. It literally went up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks. Pulled back 1 week. Then it went just insane. Now, it actually went beyond the price target, but pretty damn close to the timing target of that. I just think, Rick, it's just amazing timing of that last. I'm totally lost in the data here. I hope the auto scroll's turned off. Of course, the market's closed, but look at this amazing price pulse projection, and that's the weekly, of course, right? And then, yikes, look out, because the 1-2 punch, the 1, 2, 3, and certainly three waves. 3 waves is nice and easy. It's like, you know, rock and roll music. Here's another a price pulse projection here. Find the highest close, hang it off of that, and then timing wise, well, if your target was here, you almost got hit. Of course, I'm not really doing it off the lows. If I came off the lows, it would look like this. And loads the high projection. So if you're doing both, it'd be nicer to have a different color available for this one. So here's the rhythm of the market as far as your exit, and then here's the volatility is included in the bars, so it's a little distorted view of although it is a, you know, for the breakout traders, people that are going to start placing sell orders along these bottoms here to get picked up should it collapse, and then this top here that was supposed to maintain a bottom failed, you know, as I say, miserably. And then stay in the same so I'm still in the weekly chart. You'll go to the and then just do you know, trend line here. Right, and then you're kind of going to draw this trend line, I guess, at some point. But yeah, this now here's a beautiful bottom becomes a top. Of course, it's kind of like poking into it because it's probably hanging off of this structure back here. So it's not a linear, it's not a straight top bottom as far as linear, but you can make the argument that that's pivoting off of this one here, this internal bottom, which you can see hidden into the if you have close running, you can see bottom, then they come in and rape all the people that were playing this breakout. They run it all the way up to that. You got this perfect top becomes a bottom, and of course everybody was plotting silver, I think, to like 3,000 an ounce out of this gate, looking for the The break of this, I'm sure all the expectations were very high that the world was coming to an end, as it is every day. So they were all projecting out of that, and timing the price pulses here like this, and saying, okay, well, where's the projection? The lowest close in there is here, and like I said, you go back and play with it a little bit off the highs and get slightly different projections, but timing wise, so inside you have this one on the weekly inside. So like here's a nice baby one. Find the lowest close in there, you project to that next leg, and yeah, so the I guess it's just one of those things where to make money from all this stuff is difficult in the sense that if you're going to get in on some of these top bottoms in time without regard to price and how much money's in your account, I guess it could be a little tough. This wonderful on the weekly entry here, when it spiked up into here, if you're going to do top bottom analysis on the high and lows, then you have to add another layer of complexity to your order entry system. And if you were going to say that this top is caused by this bottom on this wick, or this, this would be the wicks inside of a candle chart. But candle charts are, I think, okay. But if you're used to that analysis, but for me, it's a lot of info. This is actually nothing but high, low, close. So I only have 3 elements in here. Now, if I put the open in there, which I think is the reason why it's difficult to trade candles, because the open is so critical that, certainly on a 4-hour chart, it would be critical because you're broker. And so if you're looking for the perfect hammer, or you're looking for a hammer or doji, if you're, like they say, if you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail. So you can get into some trades that may not be the, it's just, like I said, depending on your broker, it's really going to be tough. Now the high and the low, I think, is pretty much bam. Now I have the close here. Now I could make this on the open, or I could smooth it out. But I really don't want to take anything away from what's already happened, because it's a hard edge approach to reality. That now I'm gonna go to the 4-hour chart here and take a look at the trades that were available last week. Of course, the week is half over for some bizarre reason, but no, I mean the all this spikeage here. Now this is the 4-hour on close, and okay, this is about as far as, if I zoom out one more level, it's just going to look like a mess. But here you can picture, I guess, yourself placing orders on this stuff, at least. How you would place an order here to capture some of these top become bottoms, for instance. What happened here on the 4-hour chart? This situation started to happen where you had this bottom, and this was the big bottom where everybody was like, well, that's the bottom. And this top, this little internal top, which is probably a hammer on some daily chart. Now this becomes the place where you'd place your orders right at the top of that, so I don't have to turn the candles on and off to see that you would have got filled there. So I like the composite chart because I can see, okay, what if I would have done that trade? I don't have to back test this stuff. Back testing is a joke, okay? You can't back test. The world's coming at you, and it's how you deal with it. You can't back test. You can't. You just got to get skills. So, I mean, you couldn't back test Would you rehearse changing